All right, good morning, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the third week of remote learning. Um, you'll notice on the schedule today, you have a lab. It would have been our sheep dissection, but we're not doing the sheep dissection in class, obviously. So we have a virtual sheep dissection for you to do today. You'll answer the questions in the packet, submit that. And then once you've finished your sheep brain dissection, the rest of your work through Easter is your writing assignment. And for my classes, the writing assignment is similar to the writing assignment we did earlier in the year where it's part of a discussion post. For Mrs. Broadhead's classes, I don't know if you may have done a discussion post in a different class before, but I'll explain exactly how to do it if you have not. It's pretty easy. So I just wanted to walk you through the assignment. If you click on, it's called Drugs on the Brain. All the information you need is right in the assignment, but there's also a topic page with all of this information as well in the anatomy class page. So basically, your objectives for this paper or this writing assignment are to continue developing your understanding of neurons, neuron activity, and neurotransmitters in the context of how chemicals or drugs change neuron and brain physiology. And then, again, continue practicing writing at the molecular, cellular, and or tissue level detail. So this obviously follows the material we just covered in Chapter 9 as it relates to the nervous system. We just learned about neurons, about sensory systems, how they work to maintain homeostasis. This activity, you'll be exploring how neurons communicate in the brain, and you'll be talking a lot about neurotransmitters when you do it. So background, we talked a lot about how complex the brain is. One way to learn a system is to study the specific type of interaction. The interaction we're going to talk about right now is how drugs affect the brain. And there's a website. I don't know if you've used the University of Utah's Science of Addiction website, but it is really useful. There's a lot of really good information on it. I'll show it to you in a second. So this is the link you'll use. I recommend. If you look down here at the procedure, I do say you can find a different way of finding this information, but this website's just really helpful. It's easy to use. It's interesting to look at. It's not just reading. There are a lot of interactives, and it gives you some good basic level information. So your procedure for this writing assignment, you're going to choose a drug that you'd like to research. I know a lot of you who are in psych recently did this. Maybe choose a different one because you've already done all the research on one of them and it would probably be repetitive. But if you would like to choose the same one, we won't know. So choose a drug you'd like to research: alcohol, cocaine, heroin, marijuana. Whoops, what's that? Sorry about that. Then you'll use this website to research the effect of a drug on neuron and brain activity. When you click on this website, this comes up. And all of these sites here, these are all different links. They're all helpful. The ones that I found the most helpful for this assignment are the Reward Pathway, Mouse Party, Meth Mouse, Genes and Addiction over here was helpful. Drugs affect brain pathways might be helpful. So you can just sort of look around at what you're writing about, check them all out. In a minute, I'm going to show you how this website works, but you'll use that website or a different resource. If you choose to use a different resource, instead of just searching, let's say you chose to research cocaine. Instead of just searching cocaine, I want you to research cocaine mechanism, because that's going to give you information on how the drug specifically affects the neurons of the brain. Okay. So here's how this works before I go on. Let's say we did Mouse Party. Mouse Party's fun. And it's really interactive. A little introduction here. so you've got all your mice. Let's see, they all have different substance abuse problems. Let's choose, it doesn't matter, let's choose cocaine, because that's what we chose before. Put your guy in the chair.
Dopamine transporters are responsible for removing dopamine molecules from the synaptic cleft.
All right, so you can sort of see how that would work. We're going to stop this for now. All right. And they're not all quite that interactive, but they're all helpful with information. Whoops. Okay. When you're writing your paper, in your response, summarize the impact of a specific drug on the neurons and brain activity. So that's the first thing you want to do. How does your drug affect the neurons in the brain and the brain activity? And in that description, include which neurotransmitters are involved. Okay, so different drugs trigger different neurotransmitters. There's a lot about the dopamine pathway in this resource, but there are other ones as well. You're going to extend your understanding by researching and discussing another factor that plays a role in addiction, such as genetics, other neurotransmitter pathways, social pressures. That part is sort of up to you, which one you would like to discuss. You're going to copy and paste your paper with your in-text citations at the end of this assignment page. So we already got one, actually. Great. You'll say add a new response, and then you'll just, whatever you wrote in Word, I recommend you write it in Word. You just copy and paste it in Word, paste it into here. Example. Post your response. Okay. Then do you see how it says add response here? This is the part that people find the most confusing when I discuss it, so just listen carefully. What you'll do is you'll post your response. So that's the first thing you did. Add a new response and post your response. You're going to respond to at least 2 other students' posting. So you're not going to be able to see anybody's postings until you post, okay? But once you post, you can read somebody else's post and add a response. I want your response to be something that's helpful in continuing the conversation. So the way I recommend responding to a post is using the now approach. So notice something they talked about, offer a suggestion about something they talked about, and or wonder about something. So I noticed you did your paper on cocaine, and this was the neurotransmitter that was involved. I did my paper on methamphetamine, but this was the same neurotransmitter involved, and I wonder how many other drugs would have that neurotransmitter, something like that. Don't all use that one, but that's an example of how what you would respond. It needs to be continuing the conversation. So you're going to post first, then you're going to respond to 2 of your classmates, and then you're going to reply to 2 other comments. So let's say I responded and I said, I did the now approach, right? Post response. Now somebody can see my response and they can reply. Mrs. Sullivan, I saw you asked this question. Here is the answer. Something like that. So again, you're continuing the conversation, okay? So you're going to post your paper, comment to 2 other posts, and then reply to 2 other posts. It can be replying to your own post or somebody else's. Again, you won't be able to see anybody else's post until you post your writing assignment. Here's the rubric that I'm going to follow when I grade, and Mrs. Broadhead's going to follow when she grades. So make sure you look at this when you write your paper. Did you summarize the action of the drug on the neurons of the brain. If you gave me a good, full, detailed, and complete description, you get 10 points. Did you summarize the action of the neurotransmitters? So these are going to be somewhat similar. There's going to be a little overlap, and that's okay. But this is really how it affects the neurons of the brain, and this is the neurotransmitters involved. 10 points for that. And did you discuss another factor contributing to addiction? So did you use additional resources to discuss another factor contributing to addiction, supported by specific details? If so, yes, 10 points. Is your paper cited with in-text citations in MLA format? 10 points. Did you respond to at least 2 other student postings? 5 points. And did you contribute to ongoing discussion with 2 replies to other posts? 5 points. So that will give you a total of 50 points for this writing assignment. Again, you can find the rubric right there at the bottom. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, send me or Mrs. Broadhead some questions. And I just want to reiterate this. So we'll start this on Thursday. The days are a little weird this week because there are a lot of odd days. So we've got Monday and Thursday of this week. By Monday of next week, you should have given me your topic that you chose. So you're going to choose your topic on Thursday. There will be an assignment where you can just type in your topic in the text box. So by this Thursday, April 2nd, you should choose your assignment. Your paper is due on the 8th. Now, there's a chance they're going to change these days with Easter, and if that's the case, we'll give you new deadlines. But at this point, the paper's due on the 8th, and then your comments are due the day we return from Easter break. Okay? So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, let us know, and good luck with week 3.